Hey there, folks. Erik William here out at Horror Hotel, and I have got a very special guest here. I've got Craig with Suicide for Beginners, which was a feature that filmed here, screened here at Horror Hotel. And again, I missed it by that much, but I heard very, very, very good things about this movie. Craig, for the folks that weren't lucky enough to be here this weekend, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what brought you out here to Horror Hotel.
Sure. Well, I'm very upset that you missed it, but it's Suicide for Beginners. It is a dark comedy. It's about a potential serial killer who's never really killed anybody before, doesn't really know how. When he tries, doesn't necessarily. Should have drank water. I should have done the thing where you do rhymes.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Here we go. And he's never really killed anybody before. And when he does, he doesn't necessarily succeed, but he does create really awkward situations. And he gets to the point where he has to kill one person, and things spiral out of control, and things will not go back in Pandora's box. And we have Sid Haig and Corey Feldman and Sarah Tomko from Resident Alien,
right?
And Julia Lehman and Nate Panning. Wrote the film with my friend Ethan Hunter. And it's very fun and violent, and
I love the fun and violent.
Yeah.
But what a cast, though. I mean, unbelievable. Before we go too much further, let's talk a little bit about the cast. Just that's a who's list right there. I mean, how did you go about that? Let's start there. Did you throw the net out there, and that's what you caught?
Well, it's not easy. The most important thing as independent filmmakers, and all filmmakers know, is that the cast is the most important thing after the script.
Yes.
And it's the most critical part of directing a project. So I have a funny story with Sid Haig.
Okay.
How I got him. So I was at a horror convention in Florida. I believe it was Orlando that I was at, and there's the autograph tables that go all around the outside of the room, and Sid Haig has a huge line. I waited in the line. It's one of those things where you pay $20, they sign your thing, you talk to them for like 2 seconds,
right,
and you move along.
Yes.
So I got up there, I was like, "So, how do I get you to be in my movie?" And he goes, "What kind of movie is it?" I go, "Well, it's a dark comedy." And he goes, I do dark comedies. I go, "I know you'd be perfect."
Yes.
And I did it with that much gusto because I had a couple of beers for liquid courage. Don't drink, kids, unless you have to get something done or operate heavy machinery. And he goes, "All right, pitch it."
All right.
And I already gave you that pitch, except I didn't stutter as much when I did it.
Because again, liquid courage, I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, and he was like, "Call my agent and email me the script."
Wow.
He liked the script, and we were on.
That is awesome. That's just an awesome story, man.
Yeah, it was great, and he was great. He really adds a lot to the movie, and he always has special moments that in his scenes that he would just add. He just knows. He knows the camera where it's at. He knows how it's reading him, and he knows what to do to really make his scene pop. He'll do something super weird that no other actor could pull off.
I was going to say he was literally a legend. I mean, in this business, and as far as what he could do on screen, it was absolutely amazing, and it's amazing that you got to have him in this picture. So tell us a little bit about then, I guess, everything as far as let's go to the inspiration. Let's go back to the beginning here. When did you get the idea for Suicide for Beginners?
The beginning came from I was trying to do one of those 48-hour film festivals.
Okay.
And I didn't have anybody to work with. It was just kind of me, and I wanted to do a short film. And at the time, and I got this idea: how do you do a story with one person?
Right.
And I was like, well, you need some tension, but the only way that anybody's going to die in this movie is if he's going to kill himself. I was like, all right. So I got that, and then I was like, well, it'd be really funny if somebody had writer's block while they're writing a suicide note. I was like, that's a funny idea.
I laughed. So that's good.
And then the next thought that I knew it was going to be a story was, well, what kind of person has writer's block when they're writing a suicide note? And it just clicked. It was like somebody who's writing a suicide note for somebody else.
That's perfect.
And then it escalates. So like he's trying to kill somebody and make it look like a suicide. And that's where you get Suicide for Beginners, because he's the Michael Scott of murderers.
Love that.
He's not very. It spirals, but it's really a coming of age story for a serial killer, I think. And as the story, I don't want to ruin too much.
Well, no, yeah, we don't want to give too much away. We want you to go out there and we want you to find it. So, so let's skip ahead again. Now, production, as far as when this all came together, you've got the story, you've got the cast. How long was the shoot for something like this?
So I shot for 30 days.
Okay.
Which is a luxury on independent films. I had advantage of, I've been doing production for a little bit. I had my own equipment. So we did it with a full crew for about a full independent crew, right? Mm-hmm. When I say full crew, you independent people know what I mean.
I was going to say, independent folks that are watching this, they understand it's independent, right?
Yeah, so we did that for about 22 days. And then the rest is 20 to 22. And then the rest of the days was probably a crew of anywhere from 2 to 4 people.
Oh, okay.
Just running around. Like there's a couple bits. There's a Rube Goldberg device that was shot with like 2 people. That took 2 days. And, like something like that, like if I had a full crew, that would have been crazy expensive for us to get through. But like we just like kind of tweak and make it pretty and luxuriate and that kind of thing, if you kind of space it out like that.
Okay.
So that's what we did. I think that's a good way to go, like an independent. You don't.
I was going to say, right? Yeah.
You don't always have to have everybody there, and you can structure it to where it looks like a bigger film.
Exactly. Yeah, that's brilliant, actually. So that's very well done. Like I said, the final product, literally, like I said, I walked in right as everyone was just clapping and just hooting and hollering. So I know it was well. I know it was really well done.
That's true.
So, talk a little bit about, I guess, as far as the, so we got the cast, your crew. Now, you talked about independent crew. Are these people that you've worked with before in other projects? Did you bring some new people in on this? How did you bring all the people together to make this happen?
Yeah, well, we filmed it in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we have a fantastic crew base there, right? And so that's a big thing. So a lot of these people I've worked with before, and then, there's always some that have other projects at the same time when you're finally pulling the trigger that but yeah, no, we had an experienced crew that I was familiar with, and it really, really helps with communication.
And I was just about
trust.
To say, and then being able to pull something like this off, in that time frame to pull it together, so that was good.
Yeah, it was definitely, definitely a challenge.
So now, again, now that this is out, and I know, again, just because I peeked in on the Q&A, I know you've got some future projects coming up. Tell us a little bit now that this is here and we've got some bling for it. Tell us what's next on the docket here. What have you got cooking, so to speak?
Right. Well, so we definitely have a film that we're not ready to talk about yet, but soon we will have a cooking show available.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Sorry, I should have whirled right into that. I messed up your momentum.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
And I know how this stuff works, but that was good. It was good. You did agree. That was a lot nice. So it's a cooking show, and I don't watch a lot of cooking shows, right? But it has probably has a higher body count than like a Martha Stewart thing.
Probably.
I would say it's like a cross between like maybe Martha Stewart or what's the other one? Rachel Ray.
Yeah.
Rachel Ray and Evil Dead 2. So
perfect.
If you're into either of those or anywhere in between, this is the show for you. And it's going to be online. It's going to be available for free, and it's going to be something pretty weird. It's called Chicken Pot Pie. If you follow us on Chaotic Panda Time on Instagram, we will be announcing it constantly. Chaotic Panda Time, and it's called Chicken Pot Pie. It takes them 6 episodes to make Chicken Pot Pie, and we have some of our characters from our movie are starring in it, and they are brilliantly funny. Julia Lehman is our lead, and Nate Panning is her assistant.
Cannot wait. So for the folks that not lucky enough to be here this weekend. To find out more about let's do that. Social medias, websites, links out there. Where can they find Suicide for Beginners, and where they can find out more about you?
Okay, Suicide for Beginners, you can find that. We are streaming on Amazon Prime right now and on Tubi, so you can find it there. We are also available for rent or a digital download on pretty much all the services.
Nice.
So you have service, look it up. You'll probably find us. I'm sorry, the other question.
Oh, it's social medias. Where they can find you?
That's right. That's right. I think the best way to find me is on Chaotic Panda Time, and as we announced our projects, and and as we go, we're gonna post more and more. You know, especially as we get closer to our projects. So it's gonna start blowing up before too long. Here.
All right. Well, hey, I tell you what, thank you so much for joining us on the show here, Craig. It's been an honor getting to know you, and hopefully we're gonna hang out tonight and do a little after partying. So we'll get you. I know we've got some more horror hotel to haunt here, so we're gonna get you back out to the hotel, and we're gonna get you folks back to the show right here on Saturday Fright Theater. For every night is a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll see you next time.